Good afternoon. This is Media Center Ukraine, Odesa, and we continue our work to discuss the fact of non-investigation of the case of the attack on journalists. And just like to remind you that you can scan the QR code, ask your questions. Our speaker is Hanna Khlystun, head of the news agency Chornomorskaya Gromada. Good afternoon, Hanna. And could you share more details about this case? You have up to 5 minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. And I would like to share details of our story, that the issue that has been still unsettled. Just 18 months ago, in 2022, a woman addressed us saying that a member of her organization who stayed abroad for some period of time was deprived of his car for the military, and we decided to investigate that case because we had task from our editor. We referred to the military to learn more about the documents that should be provided to people whose cars are taken for the military. But the interesting thing was that the car was taken by the water channel company, Canal. So we decided to refer to them. So they told us that they were aware of the situation, that the car was under repair by the water channel company, Canal, and we should. He advised us to go to the military commissariat. We went there. But no one expected us there. And back then, everyone were emotionally unstable. And we knew that. And then we were invited to the municipal council. But then the location was changed. It was not at the municipal council, but near the municipal council. But actually, we could not get any comments because there were around 30, 40 people who started beating us. What were those people? We know half of those people. Those were civilians, but other 10, 15 people were in camouflage, but it looked like they were fishermen because the jacket was camouflaged, but the pants were ordinary. But all those people had assault guns. But they had no insignia that we could identify them. They started beating us right away. One civilian who was kind of an administrator hit me on my head, and I had a concussion. And 8 people started beating my cameraman. I took my cell phone just to record everything, and he put him just on the bench and started beating him. But as soon as they saw that I was recording, that administrator, that kind of person, the manager, he wanted to take my cell phone and started insulting me. And it seems to me that it took the eternity. But after we clarified everything, it was around 40, 45 minutes. When that manager counselor started pushing me, my cameraman got out of that encirclement and just used pepper spray just to protect me. And there was the command to put us on the asphalt with our faces on the ground. And while we were lying, the representatives of security service started beating us as well. Then the police arrived, and we were taken to the police station, but they had no claims against us. Though there were documents, Then that guy, the manager, the advisor, came to that police station. He brought my cell phone, and those some guys in a camouflage jacket and in actually sport pants arrived with him, and they started deleting video that I recorded, and I told that I could show all the materials, but they wanted to show these materials to the police officers and not to some strangers. The police were very passive. So the materials, the recordings were deleted in the presence of the police officers and in my presence. And I asked police officers to do something, but they told me, Anya, so don't do that. And I couldn't understand what I should not do. The deputy police head was there, and we asked him to interfere, but the only thing that he said that I was a good girl. And the head of the police station was also there. He just did not respond to our requests. But at the same day, we submitted application and explanation, but they somehow disappeared. But then we understood that they were not going to initiate an investigation. We addressed to a lawyer, and she helped us to prepare a more qualified statement, and the investigation was started, Article 25. And even after we provided, and you wanted to get Article 171, the prevention of the journalist activities, and you got only initiated investigation only Article 125. This is for minor injuries. But that was an attack on journalists. And we tried to provide information about the fact that we were journalists, that we had press cards, and that we had an editor's order, and we were the information agents pursuant to the law that we had back then. Now we are an online media, online outlet, and now we've got the fourth inquisitor, and we addressed to the prosecutor's office, but there is no result. And then we referred to the investigation department, and now the work started like in 18 months. So in 18 months after the accident, that counselor, that manager was interviewed or interrogated some of the witnesses. But that was it, because then the inquirer was changed again. The inquirer asked us to apply to the prosecutor's office, and the prosecutor's office recommended us to provide a copy of the meeting of the public organization, just to prove that I was the head of a public organization. But that was rather surprising, because it was not the case. And we were tired of all that things, and we referred to the court. The court initiated the investigation under Article 171. And I brought the decision of the court personally to the police station, but they refused to initiate investigation. Then I referred to investigation department, and only after that the investigation was started under Article 171. And just 2 days ago, I was invited. They provided to me some materials, and they told me that they are going to have parallel investigation under Article 171 and 125. And it's difficult for me to imagine how it's going to be, because when it comes to attacks on journalists, it should be under specific article. How they could separately use 125 is unknown to me. But these events do not limit our activities, because after the attack, my cameraman was summoned to the military commissariat. He undergone the medical examination. But of course, we will just show the gaps in our system in Chornomorsk. And for example, there was the situation when the military was poorly fed at hospital, and we made an article about that. We took photos there, and of course, that undermined the authority of the chief doctor there and the representatives of the municipal council. And after that, my cameraman was once again summoned to the military commissariat, and he came to the recruitment center, but they were not aware of the situation there. Of course, we addressed the military prosecutors' officers, saying that we were journalists, that the pressure was put on us. And I think that we will have learned a lot. We will learn a lot of interesting things, because the system doesn't like it when journalists try to cover something, especially if the system doesn't like it. Where is your cameraman now? He's in Odesa. He continues working, but actually he's ready to join the army. That's why he arrived to the recruitment center right away after he was summoned. And but people said there that they did not summon him. So someone had an access to those documents to send a notice to my cameraman. And so these are not some ordinary people, not some passers-by. And of course, there's this persons who have free access to notices. And you say that you did not expect that attack. And after analyzing the situation, after putting all pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together, do you understand what happened back then? I can share only my personal opinion. I cannot prove it with the evidence. I think that we were at the moment when there, unfortunately, was a long period of silence with regard to the situation in southern regions. So back then, no one said that the war was the war. Everyone wanted to avoid that discussion, and I was surprised because my cameraman has been a volunteer since 2014. Everyone knows him in the city as a pro-Ukrainian guy, and when they cried to us that we were saboteurs while they were beating us, that was really very strange, because we were the people promoting Ukrainian culture, Ukrainian language. Did you show them your IDs? We had press cards, but they were under jackets, and we have very bright straps holding our press cards, and they were rather vivid on our necks, so it was difficult not to notice them. But you know, when someone starts beating you, you're just shocked. That was the first time for us. We didn't know what we should do, how we could protect ourselves. So you feel that such things are impossible in a legal state, but somehow I found myself with my face in the road, in the asphalt, and trying to calming down myself, saying that this is impossible, this is kind of a dream, because this is not normal when men beat a lying woman. When was it? That was on the 12th of March, 2022. And I remember this from my activities, that back then everyone was rather negative in their response to people with cameras. And we thought that in Odesa, but we showed our press cards and everything was fine. And now we don't understand what happened. So they approached you saying that they are saboteurs. No, they just not approach us. They started beating us right away. And because that was a live stream, we started live stream before they started us beating. That was recorded when they started beating us. and it is added to the materials for the case. They started holding me by my hands, and there was a woman that called herself an administrator. And when I told her that we are journalists, what are you doing? This is abnormal. And she said to me that she said to me, they will talk to you as I want them to talk to you. So because this is my territory, and we understand that they knew us perfectly well. At the police station, they told the police officers that they saw us for the first time, but we had in our archive the photos of joint events at the local level. And I was there with a press card, and that advisor was also in the picture, and in the protocols of the commission, and there we were on the list of speakers, me and that advisor. So he couldn't say that he did not know me. That was lies. We have an online question from Vera Zaporozhets. Have they threatened you after the attack? Could you name just a few people? I wouldn't like to disclose their names because there is an secret, the sensitive information for investigation. And as for threats, the threats were in social media. In social media, they at once posted that nothing happened, that no one touched me even with a finger, that everything was fine, that we just came there, we just were very loud, and police officers took us. But I have all the certificates from doctors proving that there was confusion, that I had bruises. And there was one more thing that we wrote, one more article, and my friends, my colleagues, received a message that with my personal data, my name, first name, last name, identification code, the series of passport, saying that I was found on webcam. And before that, I had never heard about webcam. And then I decided to learn that, and one of my friends, he followed the link, and there was a girl who somehow resembled me, and that link was sent to all my friends. And I also, there were posts that we lied, that we just took money from people, that we use that money for our living. So there was a lot of dirty things, but we understood the source, because unfortunately, when you do something the system doesn't like, the system will respond, and that could be quite severe. So they beat your cameraman. And what equipment did you have with yourself? We had only phones. That was a rather spontaneous trip. We were not ready to recording of comments. We tried to minimize videos in our articles. Usually, we have more texts, but when we felt that there was it was threatening, that people they started offending us, it was clear that they were going to beat us. But I think that it was really rather intimidating, because they were armed people, and he just grabbed my cameraman. And they just put the gun, saying that they were going to shoot him. And my cameraman said, "Okay, just shoot me." And I said, "No, you shouldn't do that," because I was really frightened. Because it was really very frightening. And the person with a gun, a person with some privileges, was in the street trying to intimidate people. Have you addressed the National Association of Journalists? No. We were asked if we were members of the National Association of Journalists, the National Union of Journalists. I answered that not, because we were always a local media in a small city or even town, and we have never thought that something could happen. And it is really small town. Everyone knows each other. Who asked you about your membership at the National Union of Journalists at the police station? And what is the difference? Perhaps there is a difference because they had a question to our ID cards. When I gave our press cards for the first time, they asked, and this is the evidence of you being a journalist. That is the certificate on the information activity. Do you have accreditation from the Ministry of Defense? No. You mentioned that there was accreditation. That was a press card, a journalist's press card, because we were not going to shoot some strategic or military facilities. We just wanted to take a comment, and I thought that it was really safe, and that was a representative of local authorities, of state authorities. That's why we did not thought that it could be dangerous for us. Of course, if we were going to make a story about the location of the military, about the military equipment, of course, we would have had accreditation for that case, but we wanted just to take a comment of an advisor. And have other colleagues just faced such things? This is a difficult question. First of all, in Chornomorsk, there is division among mass media. Of course, they have some beneficiaries, and they cover some topics that are of interest of their beneficiaries, like political parties. Our media is more or less independent, and there is one more media outlet, but they try to avoid such sensitive issues. In a video, our colleagues faced similar situation. This is not far from us. If I'm not mistaken, the name of the outlet is Alternativa.org, Varshanidze. By the way, with the same political party, he had an unpleasant situation, and as far as I remember, there were some court proceedings with regard to the situation, but I don't know what is the outcome. During the election campaign, we had in our city a representative of Opora, Hanna Khlystun, and the same political and just tried to took cell phones from Hanna Khlystun. And he was just an observer during that election campaign, just checking if all the rules are followed for the agitation. That was rather a problematic situation because we just went to the police with him. We tried to make the case initiated, but there was no video recording to prove it, so the investigation was never initiated. So you believe that this attack is directly related to your journalist activities with your articles? Yes, sure. This is 100% clear, because we are also a teacher in one of the programs for young people, and after we issued articles with regard to public procurement, trends, and different words with regard to cars being bought not for the armed forces but some municipal structures. Of course, the municipal council did not like that, and once I was asked not to take my cameraman with me because usually we go in two because he helped me with the equipment, but then they hinted that we ride too much. Who hinted? That were the representatives of the youth center where we taught. They asked me not to publish some photos, not to cover some topics. That's why we decided not to cooperate with that youth center, because we didn't like that manipulation. Someone wanted to interview our mayor, but he told that nothing happened. About your case, right? About our case, about that situation, he said that nothing happened. So the journalists were beaten. And we are rather well-known people in our town. And almost everyone told us that mayor did not want to comment upon that. Did you try to contact your mayor, Mr. Gulaev? My cameraman is not allowed to the municipal council anymore, and the municipal guards do not allow them to enter, saying that actually he's banned from there. I'm still allowed. I can apply if needed, and still we can somehow communicate with them. But this is the mayor deputies who are responsible for these issues, for communication. But no one tried to contact us. When they took my cell phone, they broke it somehow. Maybe it just fell down, and it was all covered with cracks. And people asked me what I want from that advisor, and I said that I didn't want to get anything from him, no phones, but actually I want him to apologize, because there have been no apologies. And we just say now that we don't want anything to get from that person. We just want to fair investigation, and we just want to show with on our example that if the state takes responsibility for our safe work, because there are articles in criminal code, then we should follow this code and rule. And can you share the name of that advisor? It's Polishuk Oleg Polishuk. And how long has he been working? Is he an official job? Yes, we made a public inquiry to check if that person is a public servant, and we got information about his duties, that he was really hired as an advisor. And he has some duties, liabilities, and actually one of his tasks is public relations, and we even joked that he had some strange approach to public relations. Did he work with Khmelnyuk? Yes, he was people's deputy or a member of this municipal council. And you just mentioned Khmelnyuk, and we thought about that period as well. And you know that during Khmelnyuk time, that was the previous mayor, no one beat us, and he didn't want to talk to us. He refused to give us any comments. He just pretended that we were not there. He changed the topic, but we were never beaten. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we will monitor that case. Please update us. If you have any new information, our doors is always open for you. But of course, it would be great to learn the opinion of the other party, and we could invite the mentioned advisor to share his point of view on the mentioned events. We are open for everyone. Thank you, Hanna, for joining us today. And this is the last briefing for today in our media center, Ukraine, Odessa.